Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Tyler. Welcome back to my channel. So tomorrow I'm going to be moving back to college for RA training, and I thought, why not make a video on the 5 things that you should know before you go to college. Now this video is going to be packed with super valuable information for those entering college as well as those that are already in college. And as a disclaimer, I'm not going to be talking about BS topics like relationships, making friends, what classes to take, because quite frankly, those have been greatly overdone and it's really just a ton of fluff. Instead, these are all practical concepts that you should know, especially if you're coming back from a working class or middle class background. Essentially, these are the things I wish someone would have told me when I was 15, and the topics are mainly about finance and mindset. And really, these 5 concepts have the potential to completely change your life. But with that said, let's jump right into it because I don't want to waste your time. Number 1 is about reframing how you think about books. So when you hear that the most successful people in the world read books every day, what they're really saying is that the most successful people continue to learn and grow their knowledge every single day. Because obviously you're not going to be learning any useful substance from reading a fiction novel like Harry Potter. It was just that in the old days, reading was the primary source of useful information and personal development knowledge. But with the advent of the internet and video streaming, you can now watch videos, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, take online courses. You have absolutely no excuses to go out there and learn something new. And for those who are skeptical about learning something from like a YouTube video, let me ask you this. I like to think that I'm in pretty decent shape. But how do you think I was able to attain the physique that I have today? It was a whole lot of Athlete X, Scott Herman, Jeff Nippard, but Jeff Nippard wasn't around during my time. And personally, I think these modern methods of attaining knowledge is actually superior over reading books. And I'm gonna be honest, I hardly ever read books. Part of that is because I'm a pretty slow reader, but also on the other hand, watching videos and listening to audiobooks are just so much more time efficient. For example, I can listen to a podcast or have a YouTube video playing in my pocket while I'm like driving or walking to class. Overall, it just saves me a whole lot more time watching a video on 2x speed or 1.5x speed rather than trying to dig my head into a book and strain my eye. Now the video I'm linking is actually a video series made by a YouTuber named Clark Kegley. And ironically, in this series, he basically summarizes the most popular personal development books into 10 key ideas. So as a call to action, I want you to choose a topic that you're interested in and search on YouTube to find out more about it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be shocked at how much useful information is actually out there. Moving on to concept number 2, and that is get a credit card and learn how to use it properly. So when I grew up, I was taught that credit cards are bad and you should avoid it at all cost, just use cash, but boy was I wrong. Now most people know that you should start building your credit early, so by the time you buy like a car or get a mortgage, you'll have a popping credit score. But what people don't consider is the value and savings that you're leaving on the table by not using a credit card on all your purchases. And essentially I'm referring to the cashback and travel reward points systems offered by numerous credit cards. So the video that I'm linking below about this concept is about how to raise your credit score fast, and you'll come to learn that it's really kind of like a game. Now in this video, Graham Stephan doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail about how credit cards actually work, so I'm just gonna give you a quick summary right now. So when you make a purchase with a credit card, essentially you are borrowing money on that purchase just like a loan. If you pay the entire amount you spent on that credit card in full before your due date, essentially you paid your loan off and you do not accrue any interest after that. And really, that's all you should be thinking about. Just pay your entire statement in full every single month. No questions asked, and you won't have any problem. So basically, in order to get value from these cashback and travel point systems and actually have them make financial sense, you need to be paying your credit card bills in full every single month. That's because credit card interest rates are always ridiculously higher than the rate that you can accrue cashback and travel points. Also, if you're interested, check out my video on how I made roughly $450 from literally spending money. Alright, so now I'm going to go into some much more controversial topics, but hey, this is the juicy stuff. So number 3 is the traditional and safe route of going to college, working a 9 to 5, and retiring at 65 is not as safe as you might think. Now I know, you might be wondering, Tyler, you're a college student, you're not even out there working yet. How do you know this? And you're right, I don't know this. But from what I've seen and purely just logically making an unbiased observation, I think this traditional and safe route is more about herd mentality than anything else. And just to tell you, as someone who has gotten straight A's his entire life, graduated in the top 10% of his classes in high school, and likely to do the same in college, and I'm not bragging or anything, I'm just saying I know how to play the game of school, and I'll be the first one to tell you that it's kind of a bunch of crap. Now, I understand if what you want to do requires you to go to school, such as like being a doctor or like a lawyer, that I understand that. But if you're having to go into massive debt to get a degree in some BS like philosophy, and again, you have family and parents to support after, and you're given this opportunity to get out of poverty, I highly recommend you reconsider what you're doing. As a matter of fact, if you're an incoming freshman right now, if you're an incoming freshman this fall and you're paying more than $5,000 per semester, dude, drop out now and go to community college, because literally you are just wasting money because you want to look cool to your friends. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to learn anything useful in the first 2 years of college. And by the way, this is not financial advice. Don't sue me. I'm not like a financial advisor or anything. I get it. It's hard to believe that this is true when you haven't seen it in person, but when you surround yourself with people and you've actually seen it happen with your own eyes, then you're going to be much open to this idea. For example, I have a friend who dropped out of my school to go to community college and pursue his clothing business, and now I see him posting all kinds of stuff, and even regardless of whether he's like making bank or not right now, I can tell he's much happier, and it was probably the best decision he's ever made in his life. As long as he continues to be passionate and continues to move the needle with growing his company, he's gonna reach success. And then there's the argument, okay, what if you're taking what if you're studying something really useful like computer science? Well, even if you're going to school for something like computer science, half of your time is still gonna be spent taking a bunch of irrelevant classes. And this is really because universities they're a ginormous cash grab. They make so much money, and they add all these extra gen eds like humanities, and because they want you spending the entire 4 years in college rather than getting what you really need to know in like 2. And if you don't believe me, wait until the first day of your class when your instructor tells you to complete a homework assignment online and you find out that it's behind a $120 paywall. In my opinion, your time would be so much better spent at a coding boot camp like Lambda School, where you literally pay nothing up front until you get a job, and instead you forfeit a percentage of your income for a few years once you get the actual job. This way, the institution is actually incentivized to get you a job, and isn't that the point of college in the first place? And again, this is coming from someone who's done pretty good in school and who's the first person to go to college in his entire family and has this opportunity. And I'm not telling you to not go to college. I'm just saying that in certain cases, such as going into massive debt, you should think a little bit harder about it. Just realize I haven't even begun to talk about the other part, that being a 9 to 5. And of course, I'm still in school, so I'm not working a 9 to 5 or anything, so I don't have any really tangible experience with this. But simply put, that when you rely on another person to provide you income, especially when that's your primary or your only source of income, is that really safe? No matter what, there's always a chance for them to fire you or give you a pay cut. No one cares about you as much as yourself. And regardless of who you are, you should look into diversifying your income streams, which is basically you find different ways to make money, like have a side hustle. In my opinion, that's actually safe. And that doesn't mean you can't work a 9 to 5. I'm just saying have multiple ways of making money. And in the description is a great video on the topic. If you only choose one video to watch out of every video I'm recommending, this one is it, because this one is such an eye-opener and every single college student needs to see this. Basically, this guy, Joshua Fluke, tells a really touching story about his experience with 9 to 5s. And keep in mind, he's a web developer, which is a pretty in-demand career. And all of this still happened to him. Okay, so that last one was super controversial. I admit that. And I'm not telling you that what I said was straight fact, because the reality is it really all depends. And the goal for having that topic on here was basically I want you to start questioning it. I want you to start questioning, why is this the norm in society, and is this actually a really good thing for me? But this next one, on the other hand, applies to every single person out there, no doubt about that. And number 4 is to work hard today to live a better tomorrow. Another way to say this is hustle today so that you can reap the fruits of your labor down the road. Delayed gratification, guys. This one I see people fail all the time, man, and it's especially relevant at my school, or really any other state school for that matter. What I'm saying is do the complete opposite of, dude, you're in college, these are the best time of your lives. I absolutely can't stand when I hear this. You're basically saying that the best time of your life is now, when you're broke, have created no value to society, been an immense burden on your parents, and your whole life is downhill from here? And I get it. People want to have fun. And to be honest, if you're rich, you can kind of get away with this to some degree. But if you're broke, in massive debt, have parents working 12 hours a day to just give you this opportunity that's already flawed as it is, and you just blow it on freaking partying, you need to get your priorities straight. And I'm gonna be the first one to say this. Like, this is literally an epidemic that needs to be addressed. Too many people just focus on having fun now, and I just don't understand it. I've seen way too many people at my school end up partying way too hard, doing all kinds of drugs, not applying themselves, not going to class, failing out, and ultimately they end up dropping out, graduating unemployed, or working a job and living a life that they just completely despise. So if you really want your college days, these 4 years that fly by, to be the best times of your life, go ahead and party, bro. But if you don't, put in the work now so that you can set yourself up for the rest of your life. And then you can party or have the time to do whatever you want because you had that freedom. Now, the video I linked below is about the different stages of financial independence. Basically, it talks about what it takes to not have to worry about money and have the freedom to go out and do whatever you want. Alright, so we've come to the final concept, the final thing that you need to know before going to college or while you're in college, all of that stuff. Number 5 is stop caring what other people think. Now, this one especially hits home with me. If there's one thing out of this list that I'm most qualified to say, it's probably this one. From middle school to high school to now in college, I've always been someone to just go into phases and just try new things. In fact, a really common thing I've heard from many people I know that I haven't seen in a while when we meet is, wow, Tyler, you've changed. And to be completely honest, for a very long time, I tried so hard. I tried so hard to fit in. I tried so hard to live the life that other people wanted me to live instead of really thinking for myself. And one day, I don't know what happened. It was like about a year ago now. I came back from a 1-month trip to Thailand. And during that time, I was able to meet my grandpa and my extended family for the very first time in my life. And I saw the conditions that my people were living in. And it really just got me closer to my culture as a Thai American. And it really got me grounded. It's hard to explain, like something in my head just like clicked and it turned off all the BS. I got this like mental clarity that allowed me to focus on what was important and what I really needed to do to accomplish my goals. And I feel like more than ever now, I've stopped caring what other people think. And I'm not saying that like I have everything figured out or anything. Far from it. To me, this is just the beginning, and I'm one step closer to living the life that I know that I personally want to live. It was this very change in mindset that gave me the courage to start uploading YouTube videos, no matter how bad the quality was, despite being a terrible like articulator and communicator, and even despite having like the odd pimple appear on my face here and there in my videos when I'm recording it. It just allowed me to see things as it is, think for myself, especially in terms of what I may want to do as a career. So the video I linked below is a short by Gary Vee where he's just basically hammering the idea that you should stop caring about yourself, you should stop caring about what other people think. And with that said, those were the 5 concepts that you need to know as a college student. And I know it was definitely a longer video, but I really implore you to take these concepts, derive any value out of them in your own way. As for the videos linked in the description, I highly recommend you watch the one for my 3rd topic, the 9 to 5 one, about the Joshua Fluke, the web developer, that one is just so eye-opening, and I highly recommend you watch that video. It's so good. Feel free to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, hit the bell if you want notifications to get these videos right to you, and stop following the herd and think for yourself. Peace.